a little bit about that. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get started. It's 8:33. I'm ready to get started. I want to know so much personally, so I'm
Okay.
so excited. So welcome to the Health Hub with Dr. T. I am Dr. T. As you
Okay.
know, everything that you hear on this live is general information only. So don't come and say Dr. T or Dr. Shoaga said no. If you have specific questions to yourself, or for your loved one, please reach out to our speakers directly or your healthcare provider. But this is just general conversation. We're not diagnosing, we're not treating, we're just putting out information and getting to know you. So
Right.
I want to start with it's March. And I think this month I was or I have been really focused on women because I know a lot of great women doing great things here. And I mean,
Mhm.
even in my phone, when I was scrolling through, I was just kind of like, oh my goodness, I know so many women doing boss things. And you definitely have been on the top of my list, right?
Thank
Um,
you.
I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I'm so intrigued from the medicine to the fashion.
Mhm.
It's so interesting following you on social media about, your patients to, you dropping your new jewelry line and
Yeah.
so much. So it's almost like, oh my gosh, I want to know more. And I know if I want to know more, I know others do too. So I truly appreciate you for saying yes and for coming on board. I'm going to give you a minute or two to just introduce yourself and then we'll kind of get started from there.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. My name is Buki, or also known as Dr. Shoaga, and founder of Remy. So I'm in my 30s, born and raised in Houston, Texas. I currently do a lot of things, and so of course I have my clothing brand, which is called Remy.
Mhm.
I am a physician, full-time working physician, work at nights primarily. And luckily I get to work from home now, probably within the past 2 years or so. I started my clothing brand back in 2020. So this is our 6th year, going on our 6th year. And we've seen, slow but steady growth, and, things are going well. And so if y'all have any questions, y'all can let me know about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's start general. I know you've given us a little bit about what you do, but I want to know outside of you as a doctor, we're going to come back to that.
Hmm.
Let me not even say doctor, as a physician, because there's a difference.
Yeah,
Outside of
yeah,
you
yeah.
being a physician,
Hmm.
who are you? Like, what do you do for fun? I know a little bit about you,
Yeah,
right? I know a little bit about what I see on social media, but who are you as a person? Like, putting medicine aside, putting
right.
business aside, like, who is Dr. Shoga?
So as a person, I would say I am outgoing. Um, I like to eat. I like to exercise. I like exploring Houston. I feel like whenever, you're younger, you don't get to explore Houston. So I like to explore Houston. So that includes, going to different, activities that they have. Concerts. I love going to concerts. I love eating good food, hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. I consider myself a people person. I like to travel a lot. Probably go a few different places a year. Thank God for that. And so I would say that would really sum it up. Somebody who likes to just do a
Yes.
lot of stuff and then talk to a lot of people, just to sum it up.
That's awesome. And I asked that because you're a physician, you're a
Mm,
mom, you're a wife, you're a business owner. I wanted you to talk a little bit about all the things that you still can do even though you're doing so many things. Because sometimes we get to, okay, we're working, we're mom, we're wife, and then that's it. But I love your social media because you seem to do life. And I
yeah,
think that's one thing that I really want us to portray today is that even though you wear so many hats, you still do the things that make you happy and you still do the things that make you like do life. Life is not just passing you by. So that's awesome. So let's go back to your 9 to 5. I call it 9 to 5 reverse because she works nights.
yeah.
So I call it 9 to 5 reverse.
Yeah.
What kind of inspired you to pursue medicine? Is that
Um,
something you've always wanted to do or?
Yeah, I would say it's something I've always wanted to do inadvertently. My mom, she's a doctor, and so I think
Mhm.
just growing up, seeing what she did, just kind of motivated me to do the same thing. And yeah, I would say my mom has been my inspiration. She's a boss lady.
She was
And so just following in her footsteps essentially was my motivation. And then at the end of the day, I also really do love to talk to people, to help people, and to, interact. And just that patient doctor relationship is so important to me. And we are minorities, and so just I think it's really important for us to be in the medical field so that
yes.
people can have people who they relate with and who they trust. And so I think it's very important that people of our race and gender too are in
Yes.
medicine, and so definitely that's also a motivation.
Awesome. So speaking of moms, I'm gonna give a little personal here. So I told my mom, I typically tell her ahead of time who my speakers are going to be. Because she's like,
Hmm.
oh, what's Monday's topic? So I have been avoiding telling her till today. So today I was like, oh, I am, and of course our parents are friends, even though
Right.
we didn't really know each other, right?
Yeah.
I told her that, oh, I was having you on, and she's like, oh my gosh, she was so excited. She was like, I can't wait and all of that, right? Then an
Yeah.
hour ago, I had posted on our on my WhatsApp that, hey, this is what's going on, and your mom responded.
Yeah, I didn't
she
tell
was she was like, oh, this is so great, congratulations. I was like,
Yeah, she sent me a WhatsApp message.
did she? I was
Yeah.
like, okay, stamp of approval from our moms. But
Yeah.
I personally know your mom, and I think your mom is one of the most amazing women that I've met. That even my family have spoken about, and she's beautiful inside and out. So I can 100% see how she's inspired you, because I'm sure she's inspired so many people.
Yeah, she
So
has. She's definitely a wonderful person.
she is. And she's so
Yeah.
kind. She's so kind.
Yeah.
So let's move into being an entrepreneur. So you're a physician. Have you
Hmm.
always seen yourself as being an entrepreneur also? Or is
Actually,
this
no,
just
I don't.
something?
That was never really on my radar. Actually,
Oh,
I thought that I would just be a doctor and that'd be it. But I guess it all started back in like 2016 when I started sewing clothes for myself. And then I started sewing clothes for other people, actually,
wow.
for probably like about 2 years, like, making that showy and all that stuff, which was, I don't even know why I did that. It was very, I was just
It
way
got to
too
be
busy for
stressful.
that. Yeah, but it helped me, work on my craft and, what you see today. And so, yeah, and so 2020 comes along and, we're all kind of sitting there. I'm working and, I'm going to the hospital and everything like that. And people are asking me to make stuff, and I'm like, I don't have time to make stuff. I just simply don't have the capacity. I had my first daughter, and so I think my husband was starting his business. He was gearing up to start his business, and I was like, you know what, I want to start a clothing brand. And so yeah, it just kind of, once I have my eyes set on something, I just go like the speed of light. And so, yeah, I decided I wanted to have a business. And then I think, I registered for the business. And then 6 months later, I dropped my first collection. And
Wow.
so, no, that was never, ever, ever in the cards to become an entrepreneur. But here we are.
So wait, did you make your first collection?
I did
Wait, let's
not
go
make
back.
it.
Wait, let's go back. You just
Yeah.
woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm gonna buy a sewing machine. I'm gonna try to sew some clothes? Or how did
Yeah,
that
okay,
come up?
so I started learning how to sew back in 2012. And
Okay.
so I was in college at A&M and we had a project and it was like do something that you've always wanted to do and document the process. And I
Mm.
always wanted to sew. Like I've always wanted to sew. And I used to sew with my hand when I was like a little girl, whatever. I used to take like shirts and like cut them up and then sew them back
Oh wow.
together or whatever. So I was like, I want to learn how to sew with a sewing machine, right? And so then that's what I did when I guess I was like 22 or whatever. It was like my last semester of college. So I bought the sewing machine. And then I think my first project was like sewing a pillow. And so I sewed the pillow. And then the next project was sewing a skirt. And actually, it was terrible. It was really, really bad. Like, I didn't understand how to cut the fabric for, a woman's curves. And so I think I
Right.
just basically cut like a rectangle. But anyway, from there, of course, everything else kind of blossomed. So I learned how to, pattern make, sew dresses and all that stuff. And so it was just a gradual progression of, skills and everything that led to where we are.
That's awesome. I took a home ec class in high school and
Hmm.
I learned how to make a jean shirt. Yeah, it was a jean shirt. And I wore that jean shirt like every weekend for years. And then we
Yeah.
moved and then I can't find it. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the one thing I've made.
Yeah.
And I can't
Yeah.
make it anymore. Okay, so we're going to be going back and forth. We're going to talk a little bit medicine. We're going to talk a little bit fashion. We're going to
Hmm.
talk a little bit about just being a woman. And so
Hmm.
I do want to dive into what are some challenges. You're a woman. You're a
Hmm.
physician. You're in healthcare. What are some challenges that you believe that women face in medicine that people do not see?
Yeah, so I mean, right off the bat, I feel like, of course, unfortunately, sexism exists everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And so thankfully I don't get this a lot, but sometimes people feel because you're a woman, they feel like you're less competent
Mm,
than some of the male doctors. You know what we get a lot in the hospital? They don't think you're the doctor. They think you're
mm,
everything but the doctor. So they think you're the nurse. They'll be looking at your badge. They really will try you. I think there's this one girl, she looked at my badge. She was like, "Are you the," I forgot what she said. I said, "No, I'm the doctor." Like you
mm.
can see my badge. Like even if we tattoo doctor on the forehead, people will still bypass it because of their biases. And
Mm,
they'll think you're everybody but the doctor. So that's
mm.
one thing that we have to deal with. And then of course, you might find that people, I don't want to call anybody out, but some people might be less receptive to like your orders, the orders that you're giving and stuff like that. And so I feel like as women, sometimes in that field you have to put like on a bit of a tougher exterior
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that people will take you a little bit more serious, which is unfortunate. So how I am in person, like when you see me outside, is not how I am at work. I'm a little bit more
Mm,
serious at work because you don't want people to try you, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you have to set your boundaries. And
Right.
so that's just the facts of it. And so yeah, sexism definitely exists.
And I think just making sure that you get that respect, because it's one thing
Absolutely.
to just, online, your personal life, you're kicking, you're having a good time, but in reality, you're saving lives and you're
Yeah.
actually making a difference in people's lives. And so you want that respect. You want people to do look at you as the doctor and say, okay, this is what she's saying, and let's kind of take it seriously. How do you
Right.
handle that, right? So someone comes in and they think you're no disrespect to any profession. All
Yeah.
professions are important. All professions play a role in our lives. So if I were to mention another profession, it's not to speak down on that profession, it's just a different career that I'm just comparing it to, right? So you walk into that room and someone thinks that maybe you are the tech, right? And you are kind of like, hey, I am not the tech. How do you handle that while still giving good care, right? How do you not let that sexism get towards you while still focusing on what you're there to do?
So when you're in medicine, honestly, your heart has been hardened. It's very
Mm,
sad, but from the very beginning, your heart has been hardened. So honestly, maybe the first time you got it, you probably got it while you're in medical school, right? So it's no
right.
big deal. Like you're the medical student, and they think you're this or you're that. So by the time
Mm,
you're a practicing attending, honestly, it's nothing, right? So they think you're the whatever, and be like, no, I'm the doctor, and I'm taking care of you today. And so then you just keep going. Like there's no need to dwell on whatever they said because we hear and see all kinds of crazy things all day, all the time. And so you do have to have a little bit of tough skin to be in the field. And so I don't
right.
think anything of it. I just keep it moving because it's a people job. Like working with people is interesting to say the least. And so you just keep it moving, just like in life. Keep it
Yeah.
moving. Just
And I
correct them
think
and say I'm your doctor and keep it moving.
Healthcare, I know, I think all careers probably have its own ups and downs and strengths and all of that, but I'm in healthcare. So I personally think healthcare is the most difficult to navigate because, you're dealing with people that are sick, you're dealing with people that are in pain, and when you're in pain, nobody's nice. And if you weren't nice to begin with and now you're not feeling good, you're really, really not nice. So kudos to you because I know you've heard it all. And I know that from what I hear from my physician friends is they have to focus on the problem. They can't let that get to them. They can't let it alter the type of care that they give,
Right.
right? If someone wants a man, but here I am, a woman that can treat you and I'm going to treat you just as well as a male. You just have to focus on that. So kudos to you on that. Hopefully
Yeah,
the
I mean,
world gets a
honestly,
little
there's
better.
data that women physicians have better outcomes than,
Yeah.
not to knock male physicians, but women physicians do have better outcomes because I think they just listen more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how do you get, because I know you've transitioned. You weren't always working from home, working this night job. You probably were in the hospital
Yeah.
before.
Hmm.
While you were there, because I do have a lot of physicians in my community that watch this and listen. How do you handle burnout? Because I know burnout is real. And I
Yeah.
know it depends on the person. One way doesn't work for all. But for you personally, have you ever experienced any moments of burnout and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, of course. I feel like, the thing about burnout is sometimes you are in it, but you don't realize you're in it until you're on
Yes.
the other side. And so, most of the times that I've been burned out, you're exhausted, but honestly, unfortunately, you just have to keep working through it. I remember
Yeah.
COVID, we were burned out for like 18 months to 2 years, like during
Oh, wow.
COVID. Just exhausted, and you just have to work through it. There's nothing else
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the job that I did have, it was 1 week on, 1 week off. So I still was able to have that rest period and time in between taking care of patients at the hospital. But I guess, the first step is recognizing that you are burned out, which I think is probably the most difficult thing. I think it was probably like 18 months, and I was just like, man, I've just been really exhausted for a very long time. And I was like, you know what? Like, I think this is burnout. I think I'm dealing with burnout. And so, honestly, taking a step back from some of the things that is making you burned out and kind of, lessening your plate. But honestly, sometimes you just have to work through it until you
Yeah.
feel better. But prioritizing rest, trying to get rest, trying to have better systems in place, I guess you could say. That way you are able to, prioritize your health and your rest and everything. But yeah, I would say
I hear
I've been burned out plenty,
of
but I
times.
just kind of just keep going because life, honestly, you just have to keep going sometimes.
But then is that healing? What would you tell your patient? If your patient came to you and was like, oh, Dr. Shoga, I'm burnt out. I am like, this is a lot. It's just back to back. I've gone a year, didn't even know it's been a year, and I've been just going high. How would you not necessarily diagnose them, but how would you treat them? What recommendations would you give them?
So I would say, one, prioritizing rest because burnout is typically from you doing too much, right? For the most part. Maybe not even doing too much, but whatever is on your plate is a lot and it's wearing
Yeah.
you out. So just kind of looking at ways that you can lessen the load, whatever it might be, outsourcing, doing different things. Like for me, like I don't really have time to grocery shop anymore, so I don't do that anymore. I do grocery delivery, stuff like that, like stuff that I worked hard for, so that way I don't have to waste my time doing those type of things. So outsourcing when possible. Of course, everyone is not able. You might not be able to, but things that we are lives are so busy with like all these little things. So figuring out ways to lessen the load, I would say go to bed early. I'm not somebody who like sleeps late, even though I work at night. So when I'm not working, I definitely try to prioritize sleeping at a good, decent time. I love sleep, 8 hours of sleep minimum. And I would say exercise is very important. I go to the gym like almost every day. So trying to figure out how to fit that in, whether it's waking up early or I'm an early morning person. I cannot work out in the evening. But if you can work out in
Mhm.
the evening, I would say go for it. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Right.
Just go on a walk, just
Hmm.
to kind of, release the stress that you're having. And I would say definitely, what you're eating. I know, we all like to eat nonsense, but trying to eat as healthy as you can is definitely going to be major key. Um, that's it. I would say those.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds so simple, but having those basic, things in your life, I think could be pivotal.
I think one thing that I did a post a long time ago. One of my first posts was outsourcing.
Yeah,
Like, I and this will lead to my next question for you is that, women, we do a lot.
yeah,
And it's like, some people are like, oh, I have to cook every day, I have to cook every weekend. I'm like, there are just some things I cannot do. And it's just not because I don't want to, but I'd rather spend my time doing something else. So I 100% believe in outsourcing. So let me
absolutely.
ask you this. Do you think women in healthcare feel the need or the pressure to be perfect? Do you feel that they feel like, what, they have a lot to prove and they have to be perfect?
I think it's dependent on the person. I don't
Okay.
think it is a women in healthcare thing. I think it's probably a personality type thing. So I'm not like your typical type A person, very easygoing. And I mean, personally, like I know the work that I do is good. And so I know I always put my best foot forward. And I don't ever feel the need to be a perfectionist because I feel like you can get to the same destination multiple different ways. I
Absolutely.
think there are people who think there's a better way or a more efficient way or whatever, but I'm not that type of person. I think that you can get to the same destination multiple different ways. And what matters is, how you get there safely. That's important. And efficiency, yes, it's important, but how important is it and at what cost? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yeah.
Okay. I can see that. I think before, maybe not now, some women felt like they had to do it all. And then even, being in healthcare or whatever career path they're in, feeling like they had to compete with men. And in order to compete, mean that they were perfect, But like you said, your skills speak for yourself.
Yeah,
And
I
that way.
mean, I think anybody, no matter what you're doing,
Mhm.
you, of course, everybody might not feel like that, but I feel like you should always be trying to do your best. You
Right.
should always be working on yourself. You should always be improving yourself, but not to the point where you're stressing yourself out about being perfect. Okay, because
Right.
we're human. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. But I think, yes, you should always try and give your 100%. Absolutely. Especially as minorities, it's very important.
Right.
It's true when they say we do have to be, twice as good and all that is very
Hmm.
true. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think as far as like perfectionist, I'm trying to recount like all my doctor friends. I don't feel like anybody is like a perfectionist to the point where it's like seriously stressing, themselves out, right? So yeah.
Okay. All right, let's transition into fashion because I'm so intrigued about your brand. I'm going to have you explain it in a little bit, but someone might think, I'm only saying what the people might think, not
Hmm.
necessarily me. Someone might think, oh, she's a physician, she's a doctor, she makes a lot of money. Why does she even need a business?
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just being honest, right? Someone may be like, she has all of it. When we think about doctors and, I'm like, oh my gosh, doctors are probably the highest paid career people and they have everything. Why else does she want to stress herself in being an entrepreneur on top of that? What would you say to that?
Honestly, like I said, I did not know I was going to have a business one day. So I think my business was truly birthed from passion. And I would say you don't have to have a business. But it was just birthed from passion, truly, truly. Yes, I am a doctor. Yes, doctors make good money. But I think that is like the perfect time and the perfect situation to have a business because to have a business that grows, you need money. So I've invested so much of my own money into my brand to make it grow to where it is currently. And I don't make any money from my business. I just put money in it. But eventually I know, I will reap the benefits of that
Amen.
and have the autonomy at the end of the day. Like I said, you do not have to work for yourself. You do not have to be a business person. But at the end of the day, when you work for somebody else, it is different. There's a lot of rules that you have to follow. Even though I'm a physician, that's why I changed jobs. It was just getting too much as
Mm,
far as the rules that we have to follow and everything. It was just kind of like I didn't feel like I was an adult, that I had self autonomy, which is very unfortunate because, we go to medical school, we do all these things so that we can be autonomous.
right.
And so I think the key really is truly diversifying what's on your plate, whether it's not even being a physician, but definitely, you want to invest in the market and stuff like that. You don't want to just stick to whatever your job is. Whatever money you're making, at least put it in the market. That's what I would say. That's really, how you're gonna excel and succeed. Not owning a business, because you're not gonna make money from your business for a very, very long time. Like a very, like a decade plus, probably. So that's for most people, anyway.
So you hit the nail on the head. You hit what I was hoping you would say is diversification. Like you need to diversify. You
Yeah,
need to your one I think we're in this day and age where one job or one business or one whatever is not enough,
yeah,
right? And you need more. And being able to diversify your talents, everything that you have, that is what I wanted people to hear and get out of this because things are different now than back in the day. And so, yes, we'll get back to that. Let's talk about your brand. I've purchased a couple, but I want to wear like I feel like I'm gonna speak freely. I love it, and I love the way you market it, and I want to wear it the way you have it, like from the jewelry to the purse to the, I just
yeah.
it's just so it's so simple and well, let me not say what I think first. I'm gonna let you explain your brand, the modesty of it, of it all, why you chose that. Is it due to culture? Is it due to your religion, spirituality, all of that? I want you to explain the name. I know the name, I know what it means, but hearing it from you, the founder, is just, I think, will be amazing. So if you could just talk a little bit about your brand, what it means to you, and why you focus on that modesty brand. I think people
Yes.
would love to hear it.
Absolutely. So the brand name is Rimi. So in Yoruba, that means to see me. So we say, we're encouraging women to see themselves and encouraging women to encourage other people to see them for who they are, right? And not for who the world wants them to be, but for who they
Mm,
are themselves. And so it is a modest brand, and it was born from my own personal struggles, and even
mm.
why I learned how to start sewing in the first place. So I guess back in 2016, I made the choice to start dressing modestly for religious reasons.
Were you
And I
dressing another way before 2016?
yeah, I used to wear whatever I wanted. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to show all kinds of skin, but I decided to change that. Just
Mhm.
you just have a religious calling, and so I decided to dress more modestly. And I've always loved fashion, always been into clothes, shoes, everything. And I was really struggling to find stuff that
Mm,
fit my taste. Um, but also was considered modest. So, I see something nice on a website just to discover, there's a high slit, which I cannot wear. Maybe I might have worn it before. Or like the whole back is out. They love that long sleeve dress with the whole back out. And me personally, I hate layering. So I don't like wearing stuff under whatever
mm,
I'm wearing to make it modest. A lot of people do dress like that, but me personally, I do not like that. I just like to put it on and it's there. And so that's why I started learning how to sew in the first place, just to start making my own outfits. But then, yeah, so I was like, I'm going to put a modest brand out there because if I'm having trouble finding it, that means somebody else is having trouble finding it. And that's how
mhm,
actually how, a lot of businesses are born, right? Basically you're trying to fill a gap in the market,
mhm.
whatever that is. And so that was the gap that I was filling. There are modest brands, but they kind of all look the same back then. I guess now it's definitely getting better, but very loose silhouettes, kind of like plain colors. And if that's what you like, that's fine. But that's not what I liked. You know, I wanted stuff with like structure, color, you know, unique silhouettes. And so that's why I started Remy. And so I think, you know, over time I've, you know, honed in on my like design skills and everything. And just, you know, diversifying what's available and kind of, you know, really figuring out like what it is that the women who purchase from me want. And so yeah.
Someone on TikTok said everything is polyester and costs $1,000.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna say about the whole polyester bit is I think there is this crazy war against polyester.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Polyester is not as bad as you all think it is. And clothes are expensive to make. So me sewing clothes and how many hours it took me to sew a dress. I know we're used to cheap clothing, but it takes a lot to sew one garment.
One
It
dress.
takes a lot. So when I see some of the prices, like I'm like, okay. But then when I see some of the prices, I'm like, that's ridiculous. So that's why I try and keep my prices somewhere in the middle and somewhere fair. And so as far as polyester, yes. The thing about polyester is the stuff that you see that's polyester, especially like the nice stuff, it has to be. Polyester has certain qualities and attributes about it that just, if it was another fabric, it just wouldn't look as nice,
Look as
right?
good.
As far as like draping, you know, and all that stuff. And as far as like how long it's going to last, because I use cotton in some of my stuff too. And
Mm.
so it just kind of depends what is the clothing call for. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna use natural products like cotton. But then I do use polyester and I use some other materials as well. Just kind of whatever is the nicest and the highest quality for my
Okay.
customer.
So whatever it takes to bring that vision to light is really what you would do, because
Hmm.
that's how you actually see the style is based on the different fabrics. I don't understand fabrics. I should, as a Nigerian woman, I should know organza versus this versus that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
I mean,
it's a
some people
lot.
are sensitive to polyester, and I completely understand. So if that's you, I completely understand. But you know, some people, I mean, a lot of people are not. But at the end of the day, it's whatever you like. Whatever you
Yep.
like is probably
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
I know natural fabrics are gonna be a little bit more expensive as well, but
Okay. Do you
yeah.
think modern society misunderstands modest dressing? Like nowadays, right? Do you hit any obstacles? Do you hit any roadblocks? Did you have that? Or let me even go back. Did you have that fear of, okay, this is what I want? Like I want this modesty. Am I going to sell? Are people going to buy my look?
So not necessarily. I didn't really have an issue with that. I think when it comes to religious modesty, right? And so there's modesty, there's tiers, right? There's religious
Hmm.
modesty. So, you know, whether Christian, Muslim, whatever. So Muslim modesty, a lot of Muslims have an idea that it has to be like super loose and all that stuff. And then, you know,
Hmm.
there's truly tiers to modesty. There's some people who think modesty is like a tube top with your arms out. So it's just kind of whatever you think modesty
What
is.
it is.
And so I was
Mm-hmm.
never really worried about modesty being a factor if the clothing would sell or not. More so just, you know, the styles, you know, would they sell or not. But not really modesty because right now everybody's kind of on a modesty wave. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Yep.
modesty is kind
Yep.
of there's a lot of Christian modesty right now.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's always been like an Islamic modesty, and then there's other modesty. People are getting older. They feel like they want to dress a little bit more mature, less clothing. And so I think we're just kind of seeing modesty is definitely, I would say it's in right now. But the way I design my clothing, it's modest, but it's not like, oh, only women who wear modest clothing are
Yes.
wear it. It's for
Hmm.
all women. I have all kinds of women purchase my stuff, thankfully. So I think that just comes down to the design bit and what people are wanting. People want unique silhouettes, and I think that's what I offer. You know, that you might not get, you know, at other
Other
websites.
places.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna get personal a little bit, just a
Hmm.
little bit. So before, I think you've been married. You were married before 2016, correct?
Yeah.
So your
Maybe like a
husband
year.
saw you when you were skinning and you was showing it all.
Yeah.
And then you made this transition. It was like, I'm covering up head to toe. You're not
Yeah.
seeing nobody seeing nothing. How was that? How was that transition for you and your husband? Was it
It was
something that
fun. I
was like,
mean, he still gets to see everything, right? So I don't think he cares. Like, let's be serious. No, but he was encouraging. I'll say that. I was like, I want to start covering up, and he was like, yeah, go for it. He didn't care. So yeah, he was very supportive, actually.
I think that's the best. I think the
Yeah.
best thing is, and I'm super, super blessed to have a spouse that I'm like, I want to do this. And he's just like, where do you need me to support? And I think
Right.
that also helps, right? With
Yeah.
you saying, this is what I want to do, and living in your truth, and having your significant other saying, hey, do you be yourself? That's good.
Right.
So it's good to hear that because, men like that, but I think even as men get older, they want their women to be more,
Some of them,
probably
yeah.
modest. But I do agree with your brand. When I first saw it, I was like, is it modesty to where I'm gonna look like a woman, or is it modest to where it's like, oh, she looks good, and you don't even really think modesty, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't even think modesty when I see your brand.
That's the
I'm like, it looks
goal.
good.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So it's good. What about, have you heard any stories about how your clothing line has helped women with their self confidence
Oh
or
yeah.
anything for their self worth?
Yeah, women email me all the time that they are excited that they found my brand, that they've been struggling to find stuff that's modest but also cute. And they'll send me pictures of them wearing the stuff, and that I love when they do that because it's just a motivator, right? Like, business gets difficult, and I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of entrepreneurs come to a point where they're like tired and they're like, oh, I just want to quit. Like, even now, I'm like, do I want
yeah,
to keep going? But then you get these little reminders, like, the women sending me, are describing to me how they're beautiful they feel in the clothing and the garments. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing it for. Like,
yeah,
it's not for the money or anything like that. It's so that people who had similar issues as me, similar struggles as me, can, feel beautiful in the clothing. We're women and we're really into that type of stuff on average, right? Looking
right.
good, makeup, hair, jewelry, clothes, shoes. Like, women, we just want to feel beautiful
Yeah.
and look beautiful, right? And so I just love it when they send those emails and their pictures. It's the best thing ever.
And I think that's so huge for our self worth and self confidence. I think when I look good, I feel good.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, you start hyping yourself up. You're like, oh, this is me. And I think as women, we have so many different emotions, hormones going different time of the month, and having something where you can wear and feel beautiful and feel that, oh my gosh, I am worthy. Like, you just, I don't know how to say it. You just feel good. And I
Yeah, it's
think
very
you doing
important.
that is changing lives in so many ways. Like, you're changing lives as a physician, but you're also changing women's lives of their body image, how they see
Hmm.
themselves. And that's a lot of healing that you're doing, Dr. Shoga. That's a lot of healing.
Thank you.
All right, I want to transition into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh. I saw
it's
a
rough.
post.
It's rough.
I saw a post, must have been like 3 days ago on Facebook. And she's a therapist, and she wrote like, today was the day that I got up and I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to, like, she was just ranting. And then at the end, she wrote, but I just got a note from a previous patient about how I changed her life. And now I got to wake up and be an entrepreneur again tomorrow.
Right.
And I felt that. I was
Yeah.
like, every other day, I'm like, this ain't it.
Yeah. That's why I have a job. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna have a job for a long time. Because I don't know if you're solely an entrepreneur, kudos to you. I don't
It's
think I can do that right now.
so then
I
how
would
do you
have to.
balance it?
Yeah, I mean, I work at night, so that really helps. I do have an employee as well who helps me, and a lot of freelancers, right? And so I've just kind of
Right.
slowly been offloading my duties as far as like email. I don't do any of the emails. the stuff in my warehouse. I don't really do much of that. So just offloading my tasks. Of course, I was doing everything before, but
Right.
as the business grows, I can afford to pay other people to do stuff. And so, that's what business is about. Offloading, slowly offloading all your responsibilities to somebody else at the end of the day.
But then do
um
they do it the way you want it done?
Yeah, as far as the emails, yes. The person who emails, she does it better than what I could do. That's for
Oh,
sure.
good.
As far as warehouse, yes, she's very good. And then other people, you just kind of, if they don't do what you want them to do, you just go to the next person. As far as freelancers,
Yeah.
like as far as some of my website stuff, I just move on to the next person until I find the person who can do what I
Hmm.
want to do or better than what I would be able to do.
Right.
And so, yeah, there are people out there who can do stuff better than you. And so, they'll help your business grow.
That's interesting you say. My goal, so I've been an entrepreneur for just a little while, maybe 6, 7 years.
Hmm.
Little while. And my goal this year is one of my really good girlfriends told me, or she gave me this task and said, I want you to start working on your business and not in your business. So I even have it as a quote on the shirt that
Right.
says that, I need to work on my business and not in my business, because I remember I used to be the one picking up the phones. I used to be the one scheduling the patients. I used to be the one seeing the
Yeah.
patients. I used to be the one doing the billing. And who it gets a lot,
It is
but
a
I
lot.
believe, sorry,
I said it is a lot. Yeah.
it's a lot. And then you start, kind of letting go and outsourcing in a way. And then it's like, can they do it like me? And then you realize that they do it better than you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that you were holding your own brand and your own business back.
Yeah.
So yes, kudos to you on that, because being an entrepreneur is deep.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can't think of any other word, but it is deep. What
Yeah.
advice would you give women that are like, hey, I have this passion, I have these thoughts, God has laid it in my heart to do X, Y, and Z, but they just feel really scared? What are some advice? What are some recommendations that you would give them?
I would say, I mean, like, what are you waiting for? Just go for it at the end of the day. I mean, that's to put it simply.
Hmm.
I mean, like, you waste so much time thinking about, like, what if and all that stuff. Just go for it. Even if you feel like you're not ready, just start your business, because once you start your business, there's still so many things that you're going to learn. I'm still learning.
Of
And so you just continue to learn as your business grows. So just start it and learn as you go along. Like, you'll never be ready. Like, I've learned so much stuff and accumulated so much information, and I still have so much to learn to grow
hmm
my business. So I would say just go for it. And I would say at the end of the day too, like, you don't have to have a business. Like, if you have a hobby or something like that, or something that makes you happy, go for it. Like, you do not have to have a business. Like, it's not mandatory, it's not necessary.
yeah.
But if that's truly what you want to try and do, then yes, go for it. But if you have a hobby or something that makes you happy, just keep it a hobby. Unless you feel a calling to make money from it eventually, because it's going to
Right.
take a while to make the money. But yeah.
And I think, I mean, what you said is real. Just if it's a hobby, let it be a hobby, because sometimes the minute you put that label of it being a business, I feel like that's, for me personally, I can only speak for myself, that's pressure, right?
Right.
So it's like now, I was talking to a CPA today. Now it's like payroll tax, franchise tax. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And then,
Yeah.
okay, do I need employees, or how do I do? Like it takes the fun away from it, right? Whereas, like you said, if it's a hobby, it doesn't necessarily have to be, let me register an LLC and let me do it. If that's what works, that's what works. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of physicians divvy into entrepreneurship though.
Yeah.
I'm I'm seeing a lot of, I don't know if, and I let me just ask this. I don't know if it's that you guys would rather invest in yourself than in other ways, meaning that, okay, I'm a physician, but I want to own a daycare, right? I know one physician that does that. And she's
Yeah.
just kind of like, I rather pour my money more into me than other things. So I don't know, is that how I mean, I know yours is passion, and you're
Right.
not really at this moment focused on the money brand, But why do you think physicians, it's a lot of y'all now that are doing other things on the side. Is it just
I think
diversification or what?
honestly, I think like maybe it could be just like what they are interested in outside of medicine. I feel like people at
Mm,
one point felt like if you're a doctor, you're this, then that's who you are meant to be. But
you're
people have a
boxed
lot of
in.
things that they're interested in on the side. You know what I mean? If I wasn't doing if I didn't have this business, I'd be doing something else. I'm
Yeah.
interested in so many things. Like there's so many things I want to do. Like randomness. I want to learn how to DJ. Like I want to there's all kinds of things. Like
I can
I
see
would be
you.
doing something.
I can see you with like, them little
Yeah.
dances that be like, I can see you doing that.
Yeah, like there's so many, I have so many interests
Yeah.
in the world. And so I think,
Hmm.
and I think, being a physician, you are going to have the money to, and like the collateral to be able to kind of fund,
Take that on.
whatever business. But yeah, there's so many things like you don't have to just be a sciencey person. I think people are discovering you can have an artistic side. I'm a very artistic person as well as a very scientific person. Like
Yeah.
I'm all of it, honestly. And so I'll be doing something else, trust me.
You're like, I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. I'm gonna find
Oh
something to
no,
do.
there's so many things. I used to my people be like, so what is it? What do you want to do? Because I like to do a lot of things,
Yeah.
so you don't have to pick just one thing. You can be
I
good at a lot of things.
And I think it's important for women to hear this. Someone would be like, "Oh, why are they having this conversation? She's made, she got the money." I think it's beyond that. I'm trying to show that you don't have to stay in one box. I'm trying
Right.
to show that you can still live life while doing things that you want to do. Being a mommy, how is that? Being a wife, how is that? Being an aunt, like, how are you juggling all of that? Do you guys take turns with your husband? Like, what does that balance in the house look
No, so
like?
I mean, like
Because you're
it's
always out, doctor. You
yeah, but I mean, honestly, I'm with my kids a lot more just because, my husband, he has his business and he has to physically be at the urgent care till like 8:30. And so, I mean, I would say like just the job I have is just a blessing. And so I
Yeah.
have, I'm off during the day pretty much. And I only work, even though I work at night, I might work like maybe 10 to 12 shifts a month, right? And so that's full time
Okay.
for me. And so I'm off a lot of the time. And so that's truly the key. If I had like a 9 to 5 or even the job that I had a few years ago, it would be very difficult to manage everything, just to put it simply. And so, yeah, being just my schedule is what makes it doable, right? I don't work that much, right?
Mhm.
Compared to other people. It's the same amount of hours, right? Because it's 12-hour shifts, but I'm not constantly busy at work, which is like a blessing. And so that's how I'm able to balance it, really. I mean, I
Yeah.
am the one doing a lot of the things because my husband, he's doing his entrepreneur thing. But it is what it is. It's a phase of life
Yeah.
that we are currently in, that kids are young, but they're not going to be young forever. So
Absolutely.
you just kind of have to have a mindset that that is how it is currently right now. And in the future, kids will grow up.
Hmm. What I hear you say is it's okay to pivot, meaning that the job that you were at before didn't kind of work out with your husband also being an entrepreneur, you having your kids, and then you move into this job that is a blessing, because sometimes we stay where we're at and then trying to make it work and trying to fix it, right,
Yeah,
and
I'm not
wondering
one of
why
the.
we can't balance. But then you pivoted and you're like, this is a
Yeah,
blessing.
I was looking to pivot, like not even because of the schedule, because even that schedule wasn't bad. It was 1 week on, 1 week off, but just because of how we were being treated, I didn't really care for it. So
Right.
I think people in professional settings or anywhere, they are scared to take the leap in that next step. But yeah, I started looking for another job when I knew I had to get up out of there. And that even in itself took 2 years, right? And
Wow.
so the change might not be immediate, but I planned my steps, right? Until I was able to comfortably move, full time to another job. And it took some time, but yeah, you cannot be afraid for the next step. But yeah.
Absolutely. So, what does success look like to you versus 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Right?
Yes.
What is success to you?
I would say success is not even monetary things. I think it's having health. I
Yeah.
think money is important. Let's not fake
Yes.
like money is not important.
Yes.
It's very important, right?
Yes.
Especially to, just have a peaceful life that you're not worried about, feeling stressed, trying to cover your bills and everything like that. So yes, money is important. But
Mhm.
health, happiness, family, freedom, right? Having time to do the things that you enjoy.
Yes.
I would say that's what success looks like to me.
Okay. Do you think in 10 years, what do you wish for as a physician, let me say that. As your job in a physician, meaning that do you want to stay in the same, not same job per se, but same type of schedule professionally? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And for Ridney, how do you see yourself in 10 years?
So professionally, I mean, I always say I'll work at this job forever just because of like it's a great job.
Yeah.
And so I might not necessarily be there. I think working at night is rough for me because I'm very much so a day person.
Mm,
But I wouldn't mind being here in 10 years, to be completely honest. But I would say it looks like working on my own terms. My husband, he does have the urgent care, and I do work there. So maybe working there a little bit more, seeing more patients there. We're doing like direct primary care. So
nice.
seeing more patients there as far as professionally, just kind of working a little bit on my own terms and own schedule. Business wise, wow. So really, we've grown a lot in 6 years. And so in 10
Yes.
more years, definitely I want to be a brand that's like household name,
Yeah.
on everybody's tongues. And so just continuing to grow, reach new customers. Um, I would say like for me, I would want to be completely scaled back from any, operations or anything, just kind of
Mm,
making the big decisions, which I think we'll definitely get there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you definitely will. I saw. I want look. Let me call into existence, or let me put it out in the universe. Did somebody wear your brand at like the Oscars or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. There's a few celebrities that have won the brand, which I'm grateful and thankful for. And I mean, the stylists, celebrity stylists, they reach out often, actually. And so, but I mean, to be honest, like, I'm not after the celebrities. I'm after like real people. Like, that's
Hmm.
who I want wearing my brand. But if they want to wear my brand too, that's amazing. But this is it's for real people, real customers.
So since you said that, which I mean, I think that is remarkable to hear, right? Because sometimes we're all facing celebrities and the lifestyle and like, oh, we want this person to wear it. But you saying like, I don't, not like you don't care. Of course, you would love it, but
Yeah.
it's really the everyday woman and the everyday person
Yeah, that's
is
my
who you want.
celebrity, the
And I said
everyday
person
woman.
because you're doing man jewelry too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say person. I
Yeah.
be in your stuff, Doctor. You don't know that I be like, oh, she drop it. I be in it.
Yeah, yeah. So jewelry, I mean shoes. So we'll drop
Oh,
shoes this year. Maybe like 12 pairs of shoes, maybe more. But
nice,
working on shoes. But yeah, my celebrity is the everyday woman.
nice,
Like
nice,
me, like you love fashion, you love to look good in your everyday life. You live a fabulous life, you just like to look good. That's my ideal customer.
nice. So with that being said, what's one mindset shift every woman needs right now? Because if you want to cater to the everyday woman, what is one thing that you want every woman to be able to focus on, or one mindset that we need to kind of shift to see ourselves a certain way?
I think as a woman, you need to be making your own money somehow. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever, you need to be making your own money.
Hmm.
Like I don't think any woman should be relying on any man for money. Even if it's the most wonderful man in the world,
Right.
you need to figure out a way to make sure you can make your own money. That's what I would say.
That's a good one. I think even as little as these days, I bought gas today. Let me talk about that. It was like $4.
Yeah. It's
And
expensive.
yes, it's a two-person income, or now at almost four-person income. But I do
Yeah.
agree with you that every woman should be able to make money. We all have some skill, we all have some talent. Find that talent, find that hobby, and try to make your money out of it, or find a job.
Yeah, make some money, make your
Yeah,
money, whatever it is. Even if, you have a husband, figure out a way to make the money, whatever, however y'all's finances look, whatever. Just make sure you're making some money. That's all.
absolutely. Absolutely. Second to last question. What does purpose-driven living look like for you or mean to you?
Purpose-driven living.
Living.
That's a good question. So I would say basically like whatever your goals are in life, whatever that is as far as like health, wealth, family, making sure that your actions are reflective of that. You know what I mean? So, if you're saying you want to get healthy, you want to be healthy, making sure you are exercising, making sure you're, eating your best, the 80-20 rule, like 80% of the time, or whatever that looks like for
Right.
you. Just kind of, making sure that your actions match your
Hmm.
words.
This is a two-part last question. How can people connect with you as a physician, and how can people connect with you because they want to know more about Remy?
Yeah, so you can just message me on my Instagram for both of those. It's at bukky.b. Whatever questions you have about being a doctor, or entrepreneur, or a business owner, you just slide in my DM and I'll try and answer the question as best as I can.
I can testify to that, y'all, because was it last year or the year before last? I was all in your DMs
Yeah,
because
I'll
you
answer
were
the best I can,
you
whatever
you
you
really were,
need.
because I was asking you about was it about social media?
Yeah, I think
It
it was
wasn't even
social
about the health hub.
media.
It
Huh?
was about social media. And you were like, I've done this, don't do that, and do this, and da da da. And you wrote me like this long essay. I was like, oh, I'm gonna come back and read this because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't expect that. You don't expect people to really just share and just be like, oh, I've done this. Because even on your page, you had posted a lot of things that you like, I've learned this lesson. This is
yeah,
what I'm doing now. You're just an open book. And
yeah,
I felt comfortable being like, and you guys, we don't know each other like, we know each other now personally, but we didn't then. But I
yeah.
felt comfortable enough to reach out to you and be like, this is what I was trying to do. I was kind of thinking about the health hub, but I didn't know what it was yet. And I have
Right.
reached out to you and you were like, well, think about this and do this and let me know if you have any questions. And I'm like,
Yeah.
she don't even know me.
That's okay. I'm willing to help. I mean, like there's just room in the world for all of us to be successful. Like there's so many of us, yes, but there's room for all of us to be successful. So if I can help you, I will. But if it's like, I mean, come on, like if you're asking me like some like serious like stuff that, maybe, people pay a lot of money for, maybe not. But I will ask you, I will help you as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've learned, right? Because
Right.
most of the information that I know is free already.
Hmm.
There's so much free information on the internet.
Yes.
And so yeah.
But I think there's so much free, but I would still encourage people to reach out to people in the actual field because there is free, but it's sometimes on the internet you don't know what's real and what's not real. And
Yeah,
I've
plus
seen,
everything discernment, right? And you learn a lot by
yes,
experience too, right? So just
right.
starting and figuring out what works for you is a great first step.
Absolutely. For those that missed it at the beginning, what is your specialty as a physician?
So my specialty is family medicine, but I'm a hospitalist. And
Okay.
so specifically a nocturnist, which means I work at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in case someone is like, oh, I need a doctor, so that you don't get all these random D.
We do direct primary care at the urgent care. So if they
Okay.
really want, and direct primary care is basically subscription healthcare. So you can come to see me or my husband for like $150 a month. And for the most part, it's unlimited visits. You get some lab work, that type of thing. And so it's a solution for individuals that don't have insurance, but would still like to, be seen and taken care of by a physician. So yeah, I can see you if you really want me to.
Dr. Shoaga, now I gotta ask a couple more questions. I was rounding up, but you because I am the health hub, not I am. The health hub is a source of resource to the
Yes.
community and to people. So we've entered a little part 1B, or we were at 1A,
Yeah.
now we're at 1B. I want to talk a little bit about the primary care, direct care that you're talking about,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people with insurance that feel that their deductible is so high, their out of pocket is so high. If I
Right.
can go see if I can pay cash, because thank God I'm fairly healthy, but I just need some checkups. Is that something that I should look into versus trying to use
Yeah,
my insurance?
a lot of people do have insurance and do have direct primary care. So we do have patients who do both. Because one, like as far as like their physicians, a lot of people have trouble getting in with their primary care physicians who are, inundated with lots of patients. It might take them like, I don't know, a month to get in, even though they're trying to be seen like today, tomorrow. So the beautiful thing about us having a hybrid urgent care and direct primary care is like you can literally just walk in,
Mhm.
if you're one of our patients and you can be seen. And you don't have to do the days wait or anything like that. Or, I called my doctor, they didn't answer, that type of
Right.
thing. So yeah, it's a solution for those with insurance who, don't really want to, deal with the hassle of contacting their primary care physician. And definitely for those without insurance. So you can at least come and get your labs if you
Mhm.
have any medical problems such as high blood pressure or diabetes or high cholesterol or anything like that, we can, of course, manage that for you. And then, yeah, we have a X-ray at the urgent care. And so if you need any X-ray, we can do that for you. If you need some other imaging, we can, order that for you, and it'll be significantly cheaper than if you were using insurance. And I mean
If
significantly. Yeah.
I can
And so yeah, and so there are other specialties too who do direct primary care. So getting you access to some of those specialties as you get older and need like your colonoscopies and all that type of stuff. So yeah.
So you can, if I choose and say, okay, you know what, I want to come and see Dr. Shoga because, I love it. I connect with you. I love your fashion. So I want to ask where your clothes are from, and just
Right.
feel that comfortable with your PCP because I think everyone should.
Yeah.
Could you do a telemed, or do I have to come into the urgent care?
So prefer, of course, you want to come in. We want to see you the first time, but after that, you can do telemedicine.
Awesome. Someone asked, where is this urgent care for referrals?
Yeah, so it is APT Urgent Care. So that's APT Urgent Care. It's in Manville, Texas.
APT urgent care.
Urgent
I'm
Care.
going to put it in the chat real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
So what if someone is out of state? We have some people from that are not all here that may just connect with you and just
yeah.
say, I can't fly down to Houston to see you, but can I still,
It
I
depends
don't
where
mind
they're at.
paying.
So it depends where I'm licensed, right?
Okay.
So I am licensed in 4 different states, actually. So if you're in like Louisiana, where else am I licensed? Wisconsin, Kansas. If you're in any of those states, I can take care of you. But of course, if you're trying to get care, that type of care, we need to be licensed in whatever state that person is in.
Ooh, Dr. Shoga, I think there's a conference happening next month, April 18th in Houston. I think APT urgent care needs to be there.
Maybe I'm trying to think what do I have going on that day, but maybe.
I think so because I know of these direct care, but I didn't know I knew someone personally that owned one because we do get a lot of patients that would prefer just, and they would just say, can I just pay? And it's nice for them to pay out of pocket private pay at their PCPs, but I think a subscription and saying that, hey, I can go see you 5 times a month or whatever that looks like gives also access to care, gives knowledge, gives people feeling more comfortable with their
Right.
doctors and so forth. So this is definitely, I'm definitely going to reach out to you offline after this live
Mm-hmm.
because I really really want people to know that this is an option,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people can 100% benefit from it. I would drive to the Woodlands if I love my doctor. So
Yeah.
I don't think distance really plays a role. I have people that come and see me. I have someone that flies in to see me because he has Parkinson's and he comes from New Mexico to see me.
Mm,
And that's a whole lot.
that's awesome.
But he's kind of like, I've connected with you. I feel comfortable with you. So all to say, I don't even think distance matters. Is continuity of care. Yes, yeah. Yammer's 26 talked about continuity of care in the chat. And that's important. Having a doctor that knows me and is on my case and I can feel comfortable sharing and constantly going to them, God willing, not for a long time, but to manage issues that each person may have.
Right.
So yes, I need to find y'all's Instagram and I'm 100% going to post about it because people need to hear about this. Do you guys
Absolutely. We're
treat
here.
children also, or is it just adults?
Yeah, so we see ages like 3 months and up because I'm family medicine, so I can see babies, but
You
not
said,
for.
I thought you were gonna say like 18 and up. You're like 3 months and
Yeah, for urgent care stuff,
that's everybody.
absolutely. If it's like for primary care, then that's 18 and up. But if it's
Okay.
for, illnesses and stuff like that, I can see 3 months and up because, I was trained to see babies and up.
Okay.
Mhm.
So my healthcare professionals in the chat, my community members in the chat, please, 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 we do need to follow APT urgent care to get more information because it's insurance is a lot. I'm not knocking insurance. I'm not saying don't get insurance. I am saying know your options and have resources to make sure that you are able to take care of your health.
Right.
Who? Dr. Shoaga, have I missed anything? Is there anything that you would love to add that I did not touch on? Anything for women, anything for entrepreneurship, anything for fashion, anything for direct care? Like you have hit boom, 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 boom. Mommyhood, anything, any last words that you have for us?
I'll just say I think we can all be whatever we want to be if you just put your mind to it. Like I don't really think there's limits to learning. It's all out there. It's on YouTube. It's on the internet. So if there's something, even at whatever age you are, that you're interested in, go for it. Like it's never too late to try and improve yourself, pick up new hobbies. Live your life. So I'm a proponent for living your life to the fullest. And don't let fear hold you back. Just keep
Mhm.
going.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been so good. I hope you had fun. I hope it
Yes,
was a
it's
good,
good.
easy conversation. Because you
Yeah,
said you said yes with a quickness. I was like, oh, is she really gonna? But you said yes, I would love to be. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on.
I don't mind. I don't mind talking to people. It's fine.
Yes, and I think so many people can learn from you, and I think even young women. I hope I know our generation is different, but I would hope that young women see this kind of interview, right, or this kind of information, and make that believe in themselves, make them have self confidence, make them go after their dreams, make them work hard, have their
Hmm.
own money, still
Right.
live life. They don't have to choose a path, But I truly, truly appreciate your time. I have some new entrepreneurs in the chat that I know of.
Okay.
I want you to give them a word of encouragement. They're super new. I know a couple that are super new and they're here. I know you've been doing this for 6 years, but someone that is just starting right out, what would you tell them to encourage them?
I would say like you're definitely gonna have your highs and lows. And I would say I think people are like chasing fast growth, but that's not realistic in entrepreneurship. Like I would say 97 to 99% of businesses, it takes a long time to build.
Yeah.
But the key is going to be, and I'll just be honest, money. You're going to need some money for that business to grow, and
Mm,
consistency. And also pivoting when if something is not working. Like that is literally it. The
mm,
consistency, if you're consistent, more and more people will be exposed to your business as time goes on, right? So whenever we first started, I started at zero, right?
mm.
But now I have thousands of customers, right? And
Wow.
everything is visibility, right? So as you continue to grow, as you are consistent, more and more people will hear of you, more and more people will tell other people, about your brand. So being consistent, that's where a lot of people fall off because
Right.
it's hard, right? It's very hard. People aren't buying from you. You think you failed, but people can't buy from you if they don't know you exist. So
Right.
just keep going. And then money, finding a way to secure some money, whether, it's your own money or a loan or whatever, you need money to grow. And then, just don't give up. And if something's not working, like be truly objective with your brand. Ask other people for their advice. What do you think about this? Make sure everything looks good. Make sure it doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to look good so that people can trust you and buy into whatever it is that you're selling.
Absolutely. You've even spoken to me this evening. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. It's consistency is hard,
Yeah.
but it does pay off, you know, and you're right
Eventually. Yeah.
about that. Is you
Mm-hmm.
need to be consistent. People need to be able to see you. People need to know that they're there. I've realized that when out of sight, out of mind, and
Mm-hmm.
so if you're like you're working so hard and then you disappear, our attention span is like zero point 0.2 seconds now, and it's getting
Yeah.
less and less and less, right? So you're right in being consistent and making sure that visibility is there. So I truly appreciate your time. I don't take it for granted. You do a lot of great work. You are truly making a difference in
Thank
this
you.
world. I do want to thank you as a physician for the great work that you do in people's lives. You are truly the heroes saving lives. And even what you do with Remy and
Thank
making
you.
women feel beautiful and making women feel like they're worthy and their confidence, that goes a long way. That's the type of women that we want to have in our communities and that we want to raise. I'm raising a girl, so I
Right.
want her to feel this worth and confidence and so forth. So I truly appreciate you. I thank you for your time. I hope you had a good
Thank you for
time.
having me.
I hope you'll come back at some
Yeah,
point.
sure. Just let me know.
Yes, and we're definitely going to talk about April 18th. So I do want to talk a little bit about that before we round off. April 18th is the first in-person and virtual conference for the Health Hub with Dr. T. We have a MD that focuses on reversible diseases, hypertension, diabetes. We have a CPA coming. We have someone talking a little bit about hospice and elderly care. And we have a psychologist talking about autism, ADHD, and last but not least, we have a lawyer talking about financial literacy. So it's the whole self from literally pediatrics to geriatrics and in between. This is in person in Houston, Texas, but also virtual. So please, I'm going to have flyers to give out to people. I'll probably drop some off at APT Urgent Care,
Oh yeah.
Dr.
Come
Shoga.
on. We're here.
But please share it out when you see it. I hope you guys register. I would
Absolutely.
love to see you guys there. I would love to see APT Urgent Care as a vendor so that they can discuss and tell people about the amazing work that you guys do. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. This will be up on YouTube by Thursday. Dr. Shoga talked about consistency. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
you got to be
consistent.
consistent.
I will be consistent. So I want to thank you all so much. God bless you all. May this week be fruitful. May God's blessing be upon us all. Safety, protection, and all good things. I will see you all next Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, Dr. Shoga.
All right.
I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate it.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good week. Have a
All
blessed
right.
week.
All right.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.